Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Monday, the 25th of November. I'm Stephen Ridgway. 7-Zip has a remote code execution vulnerability, which, according to the article in GB Hackers, allows attackers to execute remote code. Clue might be in the name of the vulnerability. Anyway, tracked as CV 2024 11477, and it is associated with an integer underflow in the Z standard decompression implementation. The vulnerability was discovered by the Zero Day Initiative, and has a CVSS score of 7.8. So it is therefore classed as a high severity vulnerability. The vulnerability has been addressed in version 24.07. So the recommendation is, if you're using 7-Zip, to upgrade to 24.07 or later. In the meantime, if you until you've upgraded, exercise caution when handling untrusted archive files, and keep on top of future patches and updates. So 7-Zip quite commonly used, so undoubtedly there will be a good number of systems out there which will need to be patched and upgraded with this. Hopefully it will get caught in your patch management process anyway, but if not, look for the upgrade and the patch and apply it ASAP. So thousands of Palo Alto try that again in English. Thousands of Palo Alto Networks firewalls have been hijacked. So as of last Wednesday, apparently around 2,000 devices have been hijacked. The recommendations, as always, is to keep on top of patching. The particular vulnerabilities that are of concern at the moment are CVE 2024-0012, which has a CVSS score of 9.3. It's an authentication bypass flaw. And the other vulnerability being used is CVE 2024-9474, which has medium severity, at least theoretically medium severity, 6.9, CVSS score of 6.9. That's a privilege escalation bug. So the two combined are pretty serious, which actually does lead on to a very good point around what to do with the CVSS scores. You have to understand them in the context of each individual vulnerability and in the context of your own organisation. Something which is critical in some organisations may not be critical in others. They're very much a cybersecurity view of how exploitable how easy it is to exploit the vulnerability, what happens as a consequence of that exploit, whether you need to be local, remote, have access to the devices, all sorts of things. How you can combine individual, say, medium or low severity vulnerabilities that could result in a significant compromise of an organisation. So don't take these things as being, well, it's medium severity, therefore we don't really care, because that particular vulnerability, in this case, can be combined with a more critical vulnerability to allow complete compromise of the device, include at an admin level. So you've got to think about those. Bear those things in mind. Don't just take that stuff as as being the definitive answer on how severe a particular vulnerability is. You have to risk assess it in the light of your business. The patches are available for these. So and have been available since I think last week. So if you're using Palo Alto's firewalls, as always, make sure you keep on top of patching. Palo Alto devices have been, I think, quite significantly targeted over the last 12 months. Or it may be just that Palo Alto are more transparent with the information they provide. They are very good at providing patches, so definitely worth keeping on top of that one. As always with these things, patching a firewall may not be very straightforward. However, make sure you're doing a decent business risk assessment on leaving the device vulnerable until you can get a patch window. And I think there will be certain circumstances in which an emergency patch may be required, even if that does require a modicum of downtime in order to apply it. Okay, and then finally from me today, there has been a massive credit card leak. A database of over 1.2 million cards is circulating on the dark web, allegedly circulating for free. The information that is available in this database, again, allegedly, is quite comprehensive information. Card numbers, like cardholder names, card numbers, expiration dates, CVV codes, and some of the entries have got billing addresses as well. So plenty of information there, which could be used for other than direct financial fraud. Identity theft and other cyber crimes can also be facilitated with this sort of information. The leaked database affects individuals from multiple countries, so it is a comprehensive, very large database of individuals, which will be difficult. It was going to be difficult to manage. It's not like it's one bank who can talk to their own users. Is spread across all sorts of financial institutions. If you are concerned that your data may have been swept up in this, be vigilant for potential unusual transactions, and also it is always worth being on top of things like your credit ratings. Look to see whether there have been any changes, any unusual queries for your credit score, that sort of thing. Worth considering one of the credit rating services, the sort of Experian type things that are out there in order to keep on top of this stuff. Another recommendation, which I think is quite a good one, for individual users, experts recommend using virtual credit cards for online transactions, set spending limits, and obviously avoid suspicious websites. Right, that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good start.